Okay, then listen up. Now, did the Connections of Honour and War shoot Bambi last week? No. They won the race fairly and squarely through the laws of racing. Take over Target, he's a champ. He's actually a world champ. He's fantastic. But who cares if it's a Berrigan Maiden or the Group 2 Villiers? You just can't take the line of running of another horse within 2 lengths. Rules of racing, simple. Anyway, the fields are still a little small for Saturday, but we're getting back closer to normal. We will be racing on a good 3, and everything is done in that with mine. In saying that, it's going to be a hard day's tipping. The first, and interestingly, we have a couple backing up from last week's 2-year-old. Can't really remember a 2-year-old being backed up a week later, so early in the racing season, that is, relative to what's happened here in Sydney. But the couple that are backing up, they must be going well. J.R. Hawkes has his first runner as an unencumbered trainer with African Prince, which won a trial on Tuesday. Now, there was support for Paul Perry's Nefties at its first start, and with race experience, I think that might be the one. The second, and it is as open as the town bite. Now, we will look at Port of Mayo with that old chestnut of the Cerise moving between states. I'm sure Snowden knows how to do it like Hawksy did it. The third, and Zubac, is as tough as teak. 3 Swallows avenged an unlucky first up run. God's Hand, Smart and Fast, and Subtle Glance, they all won at the same stage of their last prep. Your guess is as good as mine. The fourth, and again, wide as the Sydney heads. Kim Charm, second up, well, it chews coin, but it was very good last start. Interesting to note that its last win was also early in its prep. The fifth, and another one where you could throw a dart and have as much chance at finding the winner as studying the form. Sway Me Now, though, for the O'Shea stable, it raced in Stakes Company second up after a good run first up at its last prep, and had the quickest sections of the day resuming at Rosehill on December 29th. Actually, the more I think of it, the more I like it, because Honour and War, it did the same the week before, and we know what it did last week. We like Sway Me Now. The Underwood Cup, and really, Party Crasher is the obvious. Petrini had it handed to its last start, but it did fight on. My Zone, it easily accounted for Petrini at its start before. Hurrah, not sure what to make of its run last week. They're backing it up, but there seem to be horses that are in much better form going into this. El Maru, he'll love the step up in distance, but for mine, Party Crasher is the horse in form, so stick with it. Yet again, we have 3 horses, 10 of Hearts, referees, Boncoeur, that won first up at their last preps and are here first up. The good old Duke of Bongalonga, well, I think you'll find this a bit too tough. Ricky Czar will set up the pace before compounding, and for a long shot special, try Karate Kid. Hasn't had any luck in his first 2 starts since resuming, and we'll be back and we'll hook at it at the top of the straight and start charging. The last, and Hillston Exchange, comes down from Wagga after a great winter it had in Melbourne. Recapitalise, well, it's beaten better fields than this down in Melbourne. Sumac won a trial. My Jubilee has formed round the good ones since the resumption. I can make a case for Nuclear Sky resuming over the slightly longer trip than it has previously resumed over. And it did very well in work last time. Commanding Victory has trialled very nicely. Certain Magic is down on the limit and did beat Comepsa 2 starts ago. But for mine, Commanding Victory's trial was very nice and will be the selection. Now for specials, I think Sway Me Now in the 5th, Party Crasher in the 6th, and Karate Kid has a flukish chance in the 7th. Take a quaddie, Sway Me Now, Party Crasher, Field. Elsewhere, if it's wet up in Queensland, Black Ink to beat Matani, and in Melbourne, Stick Pin really should just about beat that field over 1400 metres. Okay then, here's to you, here's to us, enjoy.